Welcome and thank you so much for being here. My name is Traci Kato-Kiriyama, and I've been coming to pilgrimage since I was a kid, thanks to my parents who are here, Iko and George. Hi, Mom and Dad. They brought me bento. Always good to be here and see them here too. And you know, it's such a great tradition to come for pilgrimage. And today's theme, you know, we're really looking at not just remembering the experience itself by talking to people who are in camp, but also understanding how important the pilgrimage itself is. And last night I had the great opportunity to meet folks from San Francisco State. And there were folks there who've been coming, you know, they made it their tradition too. And they're multi-ethnic, young folks who are activists in their communities. And I met a woman named Nancy who's been coming here for 7 years now. And so there's a lot of tradition here for everyone here who's participating in pilgrimage. So thank you so much. Welcome for coming. And I'd like to introduce the co-MC. He's a major behind-the-scenes person and player in the pilgrimage even happening. And so please give a warm welcome for Tak Yamamoto.
I think that's a little overblown. I'm just a member of the committee. We just take care of business. I also wanted to mention the fact that this would not occur without the able help of a lot of people from the committee itself. People that are unsung, people that are sitting at the tables, seeing people that are just working around making sure that everything is happening, like your program distributing groups that are out there. We also have student groups that are helping us as well. And this year we have the 9/11 group that are working on this video that they're going to produce at some point. It's by their videograph all of the materials that are happening. At this point, what I would like to do, beside the fact that Traci's already kind of told us about what's happening, I'd like to, where's Gary? I see him. Oh, come on up, Gary. Gary?
For the first time in 36 years, my mother, Sue, couldn't attend the pilgrimage here. She's at home recovering from a serious lung infection, so they couldn't come either. As kids, my brother and I came here, I think in 71, starting with the second pilgrimage. And as young kids, we felt like we were being dragged here, because, you know, when you're a teenager, you know, mom and dad are taking you somewhere far away on a long car ride, and they won't stop to get things to eat. And when you get there, it's cold and windy and dusty, and I mean, although there was almost nothing here, though, there was only the cemetery monument and a couple bits of rocks and plowed over foundation, and we really didn't get a big hoot out of it, except for the huge caravan of radical Nisei with hair, Sansei, hair down to their waist, and Che Guevara posters coming through the town. That was always kind of fun to watch the reaction of the locals. But my mom was in high school when the Kunitomi family was interned here, and she was editor of the high school paper, the Manzanar Free Press. And the interesting thing about it was she never really talked about it when we were kids. In 1967 in middle school, for the very first time in the history of California, the textbook Land of the Free had a tiny photograph of Manzanar with a caption, Manzanar Relocation Center. That photo caused a tremendous uproar with conservatives who said that the book insulted America and it should be pulled out of every school in California. I remember taking it home and showing it to my mom and saying, you know, didn't you and Grandma go to this place, Manzanar? That was in 67. I believe the first pilgrimage was several years later. But when the Sansei organized the first pilgrimage, my mother was one of the few Nisei internees who became involved. The majority of them were still trying to forget the painful memories of the war years. As a spokeswoman for the committee, Sue appeared on national TV and many of the early articles and interviews, and through the committee's hard work over many years, eventually internment became a respectable, well, first a hot political issue and then a respectable piece of American history. In fact, if you go to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., Sue is a permanent part of the Smithsonian on virtual DVD. You can actually interview her and speak to her, and the computer will project her answers onto the screen. So in a way, she's become immortalized. I don't think any member of the committee ever realized that, or ever dreamed that we would be part of the Smithsonian Institution, especially a permanent exhibit. On behalf of my mother, Sue Embrey, and the Manzanar Committee, I'd like to thank you for attending the 36th Manzanar Pilgrimage, the first anniversary of the fantastic exhibit that's been recently opened. On a personal note, I'd like to add that my mother is a retired member in good standing of the second largest teachers union in the United States, UTLA. And my cousin Colleen and I are also members, and many other members of the Kunitomi family. And I'd like to say, as teachers, I know UTLA has provided 2 bus loads of teachers here for, I think, over a quarter of a century, and has always supported the pilgrimage. And as teachers, we all have a special responsibility to teach American history, not as people would like it, but as it really was. Thank you.